night pay-per-view. You can get it in your home, and we invite you to check in for Larry Holmes versus merciless Ray Mercer. Meanwhile, still to come tonight here live on HBO, that man, Michael Moorer, 26 wins, 26 knockouts so far, former light heavyweight champion who has moved up to the heavyweight division, a fascinating fighter against an equally fascinating opponent in 6'10", 275-pound Mike White. For more now, on the light heavyweight turned heavyweight contender Michael Moorer, we go back upstairs to Larry Merchant.
You're about to see an athlete who may revolutionize his sport by doing what is natural rather than what is traditional and time-tested. Michael Moorer has knocked out all 26 of his professional opponents. What is traditional in boxing is to use the right hand or the lead hand or the strong hand back here to get leverage and land a few hard, convincing, dominant punches to end a fight. The natural way to fight might be, because I have seen children do this naturally, to lead with your strong hand. That's what a child will do if it sets up to box. It will go like this, and everybody will say, no, you got to turn him around. Well, Michael Moorer is a natural right-hander who boxes southpaw. His right hand is out here. Consequently, he can land a lot of hard jabs and hard hooks instead of occasional hard right hands from this position. And then he subtly shifts his weight when he gets inside to get more leverage to throw right crosses and right uppercuts. The only fighter I have seen lately who uses a vague style like that was Marvin Hagler. But before he's done, we might see that Michael Moorer gets respect for having a punch that just might be as dynamite or a hand as dynamite with the things he can do as Joe Louis had with his left hand. He's an unusual man, and you might see that he is unusual in other ways as one of the potential champions coming up.
People say I like violence. I mean, I like action. It doesn't mean I'm a violent person. I like movies that are action-packed. I'm not gonna sit and watch a love story by myself and, yeah, okay, what's next?
Michael Moorer is the newest bad boy heavyweight. Obsessively seduced by violent movies like Scarface, Moorer is feeling the sting of newspaper criticism. Add him to the list of heavyweights who believe they are misquoted and misunderstood.
People, they just misprint. They're saying because I like these movies, I'm a violent person. If I like something, I like it, but don't misinterpret it. Well, people have a misconception about boxers. It's true that boxers are surrounded by a lot of violence because boxing is a violent sport. But if you were to get down like we are now, to really talk to a person, to understand a person, we're all human. If you get mad at someone or something, people think that's wrong because you're a boxer, because there's that violent nature that we always talked about, and that's not the case.
That violent nature is making headlines in Moorer's hometown of Monessen, Pennsylvania. Charged in 1989 with assault and disorderly conduct, Moorer was in trouble again in '91 for creating disturbances around town and assaulting a policeman who attempted to restrain him. Such events have inevitably reinforced the public perception of Michael's violent nature.
I think the experiences that he's had related to brawls and law are not related to attention. I think that's just the other side of him coming out in situations. And it's hard for some people to believe that after talking to him. Say, he seems to be such a quiet person, and I watched this interview. He seems to be so sincere and so humble. But then there's that other side, too, that comes out. Probably that's the only reason I've been able to handle him and deal with him, because I actually will sometimes actually have to confront him and physically. But he's such a strong-minded person that he will just walk over anyone that's weak.
One side of Michael Moorer thrives on action. He says if he weren't a professional boxer, he'd have been a cop, and his arsenal would make any peace officer nervous.
Well, I got an AK-47, I got AR-15 with a scope and a regular one. I got a 22 long rifle. I have a 12 gauge. It's a long barrel, and I have a 12 gauge pump with a pistol grip. I have a 9mm. I have a 45 and a 44 Magnum. And I'm gonna get some more. So I just like the fascination of having a gun and just like shooting it, you know, it relieves a little pressure off of me.
On another side, Moore appears quiet and serene, an identity he says he prefers.
He's a very intelligent person, very sensitive, loves a lot of attention. I believe that Michael would like to be perceived by the public as being more of a Joe Louis type of a person as a boxer. It's quiet and humble.
Quiet and humble are Moore's watchwords for 1992. As he does before most fights, he's moved across the street into a home owned by Emanuel Stewart. In a large house with many rooms to choose from, Michael prefers the smallest bedroom in the basement.
I was comfortable because the room was nice and small and I could watch around me and stuff like that, you know. I felt comfortable there. And everything was just like so enclosed. When I'm downstairs in the basement, I know what's going on. You know, I direct what's going on down there. Because I know my ability and I know what I'm capable of doing. But when the time comes, I'm going to be ready. I want to be the man.
Maybe a little focus is just what this multi-sided fighter needs to become champion. But can the public withstand the inner rage of another heavyweight? And there he is. 1 year ago, he was just finished with his tour of duty against 175-pound fighters. Since that time, Michael Moore himself has gained more than 50 pounds and then taken some of it back off. When he appeared in Atlanta back in November, he weighed more than 230 for his fight against Bobby Crabtree there. Tonight, 225. He has had 26 fights, as we mentioned, 26 knockouts, only a tiny number of those fights, a handful of them, in the heavyweight division, most of them in the light heavyweight division. He's ranked highest by the WBC, which places him as the number 5 contender. And tonight, Michael Moore's opponent is one of the most fascinating figures you'll ever see in the ring. Mike White, the giant. As he pulls off the black hood, you see him there, and we stretch all the way down. In fact, turn your television screen up on its side so you can get a vertical picture of 6'10" Mike White.
Yeah, I think I once had an apartment on the top of that tower.
Mike White has won 26 fights, lost 10, had a draw, 19 KOs. Interestingly enough, he had both a knockout of and a knockout by Levi Billups, whom you saw in the earlier fight.
And he did something that Mike Tyson didn't do. He knocked out Buster Douglas. He also has never been indicted for rape.
And like Buster Douglas, he grew up in Columbus, Ohio. And we look at the tail of the tape. Well, this is going to speak for itself. First of all, White is 35 years old. He spent a couple years in Brazil as a professional basketball player, and the rest of the numbers are just outlandish.
Yeah, I kind of wish that Moore was still 175. I've never seen a guy outweighed 100 pounds in the ring, George.
I'll tell you, it can be rough.
Do you think Carnera ever had an opponent whom he outweighed by more than 100?
No, no.
Punch stat numbers.
And there you see their numbers against recent opponents. White fought a fellow named Ryan. He throws a lot of punches for a heavyweight, but not many of them are hard punches. Moore, as you can see, hit nearly 60%. They're jabs. White, for a big man, throws a lot of jabs, but Moore has that thunderous jab.
Rules with Harold Letterman.
Jim, Michael Moore and Michael White will fight using the same rules as the first fight tonight. The rules of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. 3 judges scored a fight. The 10-point must system. No standing 8 count once again. 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and it can be saved with a bell in the last round only.
Michael Moore, Michael White, Michael Buffer with a pre-fight.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, main events in association with the undisputed, undefeated king of beer, Budweiser, bring to you part 2 of our night of heavyweight boxing. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission will remain the same, except for those assigned as judges. They will score on a 10-point must system. They are Patricia Jarman, Dalby Shirley, and Jerry Roth. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action is referee Toby Gibson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the famous sports pavilion here at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks with black trim and weighs 275 pounds. His professional record, 26 victories with 19 KOs against 10 defeats and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, from Houston, Texas, introducing Mike White. And his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the Bronx gold colors with burgundy trim. He weighs an even 225 pounds. He has held the WBO title in the light heavyweight division and successfully defended it 9 times. His overall professional record is 26-0, all by knockout victory. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the top-ranked heavyweights in the world today, from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, Michael Moore.
You're the chief second?
Yes, sir.
You're the chief second, Manny? Okay, gentlemen, I've given your instructions prior to this fight in your respective dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Give me complete cooperation. Give me a clean fight. Good luck.
Well, there you saw it. You saw the height difference as they stood and faced each other in the center of the ring. It was a training problem for both fighters because White had trouble finding southpaws to spar against, and Moore, to say the least, had trouble finding 6-foot 10-inch guys to spar against.
And White has come out unusually positive and aggressive in the fights I've seen him in the past.
And White is the aggressor in the early moments. You didn't expect that. He is known as a defensive fighter who likes to let his opponent come to him. He's wearing tennis shoes, George Foreman. Do you suppose his feet are too big for regular boxing shoes?
You would think so, but Lennox Lewis' feet are actually bigger, and he had a pair of boxing shoes on.
Yeah, maybe White just doesn't have the resources to get a hold of boxing shoes that big. Lewis's, of course, may be custom made.
Both are about 15 and a half and 15.
Moore lands a solid left, and Mike White goes down less than a minute into the fight. There's that left hand you talked about.
Well, 7 of his previous knockouts have been with his left hand, while everybody was worrying about the right hand.
He's hurt. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, maybe White was looking for the right, too. I don't think White wanted to go on.
I thought I saw a spotted owl fly out of his hair there, George. Seeing that timber fall down, does that make it an environmental disaster if he's finished here?
I can tell you this. Moore is a good puncher, but he isn't the best finisher in the world. He can knock you down, but it's not the easy things to finish these big guys off.
Well, now White is going to grab him around the shoulders and make it awfully hard for Moore to punch up. This is the time for Moore to go to the body, right, George?
And that's right, go to the body, and at the same time, the big guy should hold on. Hold on.
So we're all watching the right hand. It was the perfect left cross that put Mike White on the canvas. And Moore continues to land the left.
If he survives this round, I can tell you Moore may have a rough night on his hand. The big guys always had everything but inspiration.
Remember,
his parents brought him up to be everything but aggressive.
Well, he was a Jehovah's Witness as a child. Quite a personality transformation for a Jehovah's Witness to become an aggressive boxer.
But I can tell you this, he's got all the tools, the proper reach, the proper size, but inspiration comes in odd sizes. Now, he should say to himself, Moore has done everything in the world to me, and I'm still standing.
No, that's not what he's saying, though, George. He's saying, somebody get me out of here. Mike White is again in serious trouble as round 1 comes to a close.
Let him go.
Is the ring big enough for him to fall into?
I can tell you.
Yeah, you think of how loose those ropes are. He can lean all the way back into us, guys, without hitting the canvas.
I can tell you, White is saved by his reach and grabbing and clawing and holding on. If he had not that, it would have been over.
Mike, look at him. You all right?
He's all right. He's all right.
Look at him. You want to go back out there?
Yeah. He's all right. He's not going to work on it. He's all right.
Let's see how that right hand kept way low. Moore came straight over with it.
Well, White is standing in an awkward position. Southpaws. Perfect position.
Worried about that right hand. Here you see him come underneath with that right hand. Remember how I said how he would reposition his feet to get leverage in close so that he could use the right hand either for an uppercut and for a right cross. You've sparred with White. George, tell us about it.
I can tell you this. Like I said earlier, he has all the tools, but there's a missing ingredient, inspiration. He doesn't know where he is right now, but he's starting to get mixed up a little bit, and you understand that he's in there with a power puncher. Though he's smaller, he hits hard. I had trouble trying to reach that high, hitting him. you go to the body and then go up where? The head is too far up there.
Moore has been able to reach it, though. Right hand, and there's that vicious hook that Larry Merchant talked about in pre-fight.
The big guy has started to switch. He turned southpaw.
Blood coming from the nose of Mike White.
White carries his right hand very low, and he doesn't have the kind of reflexes where he can get it up there in time against a good puncher like Moore.
There have been days in the gym where White would run anybody out. And some days he doesn't know what to do. He's a fine boxer, but all the tools.
I liked your simpler answer earlier, George, when we said, what about him? And you said, well, I can tell you this, he's tall. That we can all agree with.
If ever he starts getting that left hand working and lead right hand, this fight could turn. But Moore is such a dynamite puncher.
Well, what about Moore's punching power?
Now he's starting to lead with a right hand, left hook combination. It's very effective. Right hand, come back with the left hook.
You're talking about Moore.
The big guy.
You're talking about White.
Yeah.
Very effective.
He's only hurt when he leads with his left hand. If he can stop leading with his left hand, lead with the right, come back with a hook, he can turn this thing around.
I don't think so. I don't think he can turn this around, George. He's being hurt every time Moore lands a power punch. And Moore's throwing a lot of power punches.
Anytime he starts a right-hand combination, he can do some good. I can tell you this because southpaws don't know how to defend against right-hand lead and combination hook.
Well, there he's listening to you. He threw 2 right-hand leads and landed them both. And now Mike White gets the better of it in an exchange in the middle of the ring. Not much power in those punches.
Yeah, but they're lead right hands, and that's going to keep that southpaw off balance.
Good point. He's using his reach and using the right hand to keep Moore away. So Mike White seems to have learned something midway through round 2.
Lead with the right, come back with the hook. Doesn't have to be hard. Don't mix the power up. Just use your reach. Well, I said earlier, Moore, he has no respect for the guy. Though he's bigger, he's interested in letting him go 2 punches to his 1. The old puncher.
You know, Michael Moore is finding out once again, as he did against Alex Stewart, that when you give your best shot to a big man, he doesn't necessarily just go away. Remember, he fought as a light heavyweight most of his career.
Knocked Stewart down twice in the first round. Ultimately was rocked in return before he put Stewart away.
Take lead, huh? Take your time. Place yourself. Make sure every punch you punch is for effect, okay? Make sure every punch is for effect. The right hook is the best shot that's landing right now. Try to walk him down. The man is getting tired, but watch your balance as you're walking him down. You understand? Try to get underneath some of the shots. Don't just walk and block them. Try to make some movements to get underneath, but you've got to get your balance right, okay? And when you're done the shots off, everything has got to be a power shot. Now, keep everything in there. That's funny. Put that right here.
I wonder if Mike White knows he might have won that second round.
The man with the hat turned around backward in Mike White's corner is Charlie Shikes, who's done a lot of work with George Foreman as well.
He told me he would wear a T-shirt with my picture on it in case Mike needs some inspiration. He'll say, look at this, remember George? He's older than you.
He is 35 years old.
George is older, 36. White goes back to the old left jab, which is a bad mistake. He should lead with the right. Forget about that.
Well, he landed a right hand there. It backed Moore up. Momentum of the bout has changed. Just about the time you said in the second round, George, that White should begin throwing right-hand leads.
That's right.
And he did it, and he's turned it around, and he's backing Moore up.
But he's got to do more right-hand left hook. Greatest mistake is that Moore is waiting for him to get lazy with that left hand, and he's going to floor him. Good.
There he was, twice.
And it's strange. He's the bigger guy, but he's in the rocky position tonight.
There's been a subtle change here. Moore likes to be busy, likes to throw upwards of 70 punches per round. Very busy for a heavyweight. He only threw 34 punches in the second round, and he is being out-delivered here again in round 3 by Mike the Giant.
And you notice when Mike leads with his right hand, it stops Moore. Has to start all over again, but when he jabs, he keeps moving forward. So White should just work that right hand overnight, and Moore should try to get lower and lower.
Is that the way for Moore to get inside of White's reach advantage?
Get lower and lower. Get your head down. He has the height advantage. Don't even try to match that. Make him try to match you with their lowlessness to the ground. Get lower.
Could the early knockdown in the first round actually turn out to be a tactical disadvantage for Moore? He seems to be headhunting a little bit.
And not only that, he used up a lot of energy. He's about 220 pounds. Going to get his second win a little later on, but you just don't want to throw that much energy away and don't get a knockout. And the referees tonight are not stopping any fights.
220 pounds and still learning about his body. Moore doesn't yet know where his weight is going to settle. Landed the right though and got a chance to come back with the left.
White is kind of like he doesn't know where he is. He just, hey, I can do anything I want, and he sits down and he gets tagged.
White is gaining confidence though, and he's now taking a couple of those shots from Moore.
Right to the body, sorry.
That's all right. You got it.
By Mark White. He's landing a good right every now and then, but if only someone could tell him, forget about your left-hand lead.
Now Moore steps inside with the right hook. Remember, his cornerman, Emmanuel Stewart, was asking for the right hook. Moore still seems conscious of trying for the knockout with the left hand. That's what he put White on his back with in the first round.
Fight good. Place your shots good. That's the only way you're going to go. In case this be a long fight, you got to place your punches. Don't be after just punching for the power, okay? Fight a good fight. You're slowing down more and getting closer there. Just start slipping. You get right on the inside. You get right close to him where you will catch it with a shot. Whenever you let it miss that right hand, you make that step over that way. Let it miss it and then take one step back and then catch it with the right hook.
Wait a minute. How do you have it?
Larry, it's very interesting. I've got it 2 rounds to 1 favor of Mike White, but Michael Moore is still ahead in the fight, 28-27 on points. Michael Moore really slowed up after that first round. I thought he won the first round from here tomorrow. I gave him a 10-7 round. But in the next 2 rounds, Mike White is tapping him, and Michael Moore is doing nothing but sucking up the jab. So I think Mike White has really come back, and it's an interesting fight so far.
Slip it to the inside.
There you see Mike White throw a right, followed by a light left tap. Virtually all of his punches are arm punches, but as big as he is, they've got to sting a little bit, George.
You're right. Mike's problem is he gets in there and he gets preoccupied with other things. Mind leaves him. Doesn't realize, man, you're in a boxing ring with a guy who can knock your head off.
Yeah, but Harold has given White the last 2 rounds, and once again in round 3, Moore threw only 34 punches. Again, he likes to throw 70 punches per round.
And it's kind of good because Moore is aware that big Mike White gets tired as the fight goes on. So he's thinking in his mind, in the 4th round, I'm going to knock him out. I didn't get him in the first, but I'll get him again later on.
I think he ought to go back to the body a lot more. I just haven't seen much body punching since round 1.
Correct. Nobody's landing the body punches. In case the fight goes longer, they're going to have lots of energy.
Larry made reference earlier to those frustrations early in Mike Tyson's career against tall fighters like Mitch Green and Bone Crusher Smith. When you see Moore leaping to try to throw the hook at Mike White here, you get a vision of how Tyson looked in some of those frustrating moments.
Very good parallel, Jim. It's a puzzlement right now. Sooner or later, he probably will chop him down, but he's learning something here about patience, about adapting to something he hasn't seen before.
That's true. White is so big that he's not going to get stronger as the fight goes on. Moore, it's been schooled properly. Take your time. Try to get 2 or 3 punches together. You can win this thing.
Well, I'm surprised to see Michael Moore reduced to 1 punch at a time, while Mike White is the one who throws combinations.
I think Mike White, he wanted to win, but he didn't prepare. He didn't come in his career early on thinking I'm going to be heavyweight champ of the world. You get in these kind of fights, you have to dig down deep. Sometimes it's not there. The physical ability is there, but the desire, it's not there. He's got everything.
A low blow. And White is bound to be a veteran at taking that kind of stuff, but this one hurts. So, a momentary rest now for Mike White. No! Courtesy of referee Toby Gibson, and now they resume action in round 4.
It's a shame. White realized I can win this thing. He just was not prepared for that.
What do you see that is making you give up on him already, George? You think he's tired?
Yeah, he took over the fight at one point. Took it over, but he just doesn't have. 95 professional fighters turn pro every year. 1 out of 95 say, I'm going to be a winner. Some say, I want a car, I want a home, I want a little cash in the bank. They don't think big. If you think big, you can have it all. Moore, he's dreaming. He's a dreamer. And he's not sleeping tonight either.
Well, Moore works in the Kronk Gym in Detroit, where everyone is a dreamer. They spar with champions, they train with champions. They think that way. Mike White has never had a privilege like that.
White is a fine man.
I know you're tired. That one we might have lost. Okay, I'm going to pull on my fight yourself. Fighting a good fight, though. You're getting to the inside, keeping the edge of it. The right jab is working good, though. He slowed down to the fact that the jab is an effective punch now. He slowed down. The jab was effective. He didn't go load up on the right jab.
I'm surprised after that first round that White is still here, but maybe sometimes good things come in big packages.
I can tell you this, he has a lot of people watching this television show tonight. He's got to show them, oh, certainly I could have, but I've never had an opportunity. All has come home. The chickens come home, or the cows, which is...
You know that T-shirt you talked about? George. Yeah, you know that T-shirt you talked about that Charlie Shipes is going to wear? Well, it's got a picture of you on it, but it's got a picture of Jerry Cooney, too. What if he looks at the wrong guy for inspiration, George?
Goodness gracious.
Hi, Jerry. He's probably watching tonight out on Long Island.
I can tell you this, you've got to be impressed with Moore. He's taking his time. He's trying to get in 2 good shots. If it takes getting jabbed here and now, he's not going to be discouraged. He does not respect White. Though he's bigger and taller and even occasionally a hard puncher, he does not respect him.
Another learning experience. Lennox Lewis had one in the first fight of the evening against Levi Billups. An expected knockout for Lewis. It turned into a unanimous decision as Billups was cagey and tough on the stretch.
White has his mouth wide open, his mouthpiece exposed. It's like he's ran out of energy already. You've got to be fighting for something other than cash. You've got to want the heavyweight title. A nice home for your babies. I don't think Mike has any children. Michael Moore is getting ready to have his first child.
Well, if having children is what gives you the edge, then you're the greatest heavyweight of all time, right?
That's right. I've got 9. And they tell me, Daddy, we want more.
There's a right hand landed by Moore inside, and White has slowed down, just as Emmanuel Stewart said between rounds. He's becoming a more stationary target, and Moore is beginning to solve the puzzle of getting inside. There's another left right on the button, but still no combinations from Moore. He's landing 1 punch at a time as we're more than halfway through round 5.
It's only now that Mike White is starting to get low. bringing his body down a bit so Moore can land these good combinations. At first, he was up a little too high. Now he's teasing him. Good right jabs, Moore is. He's jabbing him with his right.
I saw the right to the kidney. That's what I would do if I were Moore. Keep on the body until White bends over to you.
You got to understand, White has been in boxing. He's had over 30 fights. He knows that everybody want to hit his body. Occasionally, he probably do push-ups.
George, regardless of whether he is a natural right-hander or a natural southpaw, how big an advantage is the southpaw stance going to be for Moore as he continues to progress in the heavyweight division?
It's going to be a great advantage because he's doing what comes natural. The youngest fighters in the world, the first thing they do is they hit that bag with the right jab and then come over with a hard left. He can last a lot longer than the orthodox fighter.
So if a fighter came to you the way Moore is, you wouldn't turn him back around?
You have to turn him around because a manager said you're not going to get fights.
Water.
Hard to get to.
Huh?
Hard to get to.
I know, it's so hard. I know it's very hard, very much up there. But you hit him, punch you, when it is looking good. You slow him down. The shot is the right jab, and once you get him to lean it into the jab, bring your good left hand on the outside, because he's leaning in here, okay? You hit him with the jab, bring it right on the outside, good.
And don't put blocking, Mike, and throw combinations.
You can't put combinations on a man that easy, Henry. It's a big man.
Big man.
It's a big man, Henry. That doesn't work here. We lucky to get one. We got to work.
Man in the ring. Get out of the ring.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, there you saw a little difference of opinion in the corner there where Amanda Stewart here is admitting to himself and to his fighter that it's hard to get more than one punch in against a big guy who, when you hit him with the first one, his reflex is to back away. So how do you get the second one in? It's not easy.
He's got to keep pounding more. Has got to keep pounding to the body until Mike White decides, hey, I'm going to get low and be his height.
Well, before round 5, Emmanuel Stewart told Michael Moore to use the jab. He threw it 29 times in the round and landed 21 of them. Mike White threw 18 and landed 3. Now White bangs with the right hand, and Moore again jabs to the body to try to get inside.
Thing that Mike White is doing, when he's ready to go to the body, he looks to the body. The guy can see his eyes.
You know, I see this as a fight between a point guard and a power forward, and the point guard's got to drive for the basket. He's got to go right in there.
Yeah, he's got to take it to the hoop. He can't stand here and try to shoot his jump shot over Mike White.
But White is backing him up for the first time. If he can only get inspired, that was a great upset tonight. But not overly inspired because Moore can hit so hard.
George, you want to take off the earphones and jump over there in the corner between rounds?
It would be interesting.
It always
good left,
more interesting than the fight right now, I'd have to say.
Moore is starting to jab to the body, which is a great deal of thing to do now, to take some of the power away from this guy in the last couple of rounds. He only has 4 more rounds to do his deal.
Another tactical battle. Who was it who said at the beginning of the evening we were going to see 2 knockouts?
I don't know. It must have been some guy outside.
An interloper.
Moore is not out of this fight. He can still get a good knockout.
Jim, I said we expected 2 knockouts, but that didn't mean we were going to get them.
Theater of the unexpected, as Larry always calls it, and we've had it again tonight.
You know, the one disappointing thing that's going on here with Michael Moore is it's not inconceivable that White now can steal this fight from him. He's not taking the fight over. He's not leaving no doubt. Lennox Lewis was dominant, although he couldn't stop a very tough guy. Michael Moore is not dominant here.
But Michael Moore's eyes are so clean, they're so fresh. You get the feeling that if this keeps going on like this, he's going to get a good one in. White is starting to move his body wormy-like. That's the best thing he can do. Keep it wormy like that so this guy cannot focus in on it. He's a great shooter with rifles. He likes to focus.
Move his body wormy-like, huh?
Yeah, worm up there. He likes to focus. When you see a guy practicing with rifles all the time, it's pointing.
Looks more like a python than a worm. You see the left hand from Moore driving White back.
White is, occasionally he leads with his right hand and everything has to start all over for Moore. Well, that big guy falls on Moore. Well, that could be the greatest damage of the fight.
Well, we got another tactical battle, and that reminds us of what happened earlier in the evening when another of the young lions in the heavyweight division, England's Lennox Lewis, won a unanimous decision over Levi Billups, a fight in which Lewis, as Larry Merchant pointed out, was able to dominate once he discovered, probably sometime midway in the fight, that he was unlikely to score a knockout over the tough Billups. So Lewis extended his record to 19-0. Levi Billups is now 16-6. And Larry, I was going to say earlier, I think Billups at 16-6 still has an outside shot at that 64-team NCAA tournament. And Harold Letterman, how do you see this one so far?
Jim, I don't know. I got it all even. I got it 4 rounds to 2 for Mike White on a round system, but I got it even 56 in points. Really, I think Mike White's not doing a bad job after that terrible first round he had. He's come back. He's using his jab. Mike Moore can't get inside, and Mike White's keeping him on the end of the jab. He's keeping him way outside where Mike White can be effective.
But a semi-woozy White tried to leave his corner with a towel draped over his head, which would have made for some interesting video in the center of the ring.
Yeah, I have Moore ahead 3 rounds to 2 with that 2-point first round. So Harold and I see this fight a little bit differently. But Harold could be right on this one. It's these lethargic rounds can be awfully hard to judge.
What he said supports your point, Larry, that Moore is not making a clear-cut enough difference to keep himself out of danger in the eyes of the always unpredictable Vegas judges.
I can tell you this. Moore is from Detroit. He's trying to be another Joe Louis, but Larry Merchant told me something I never had heard before, that Joe Louis had decisions before he became heavyweight champion.
Well, and afterwards, George.
And nobody's aware of that sometimes you don't try to knock him out. Just go out there and win that fight. They seem to be embarrassed to win by decision. They want a knockout.
Moore's never had a decision. 26 professional fights, 26 knockouts. We mentioned. Go ahead.
He's still fresh enough to get a knockout. I'm not putting that out of the point. He's fresh. His eyes are clean. Where Mike White's eyes are dim.
Ooh, there's a vicious left inside by Moore. The blood starts to flow from White's nose again.
You know, my recollection is that Joe Louis fought a couple of real giants, aside from Primo Canera, earlier in his career. A fellow named Abe Simon and Buddy Bear, who was Max Bear's brother. And although I don't recollect the exact result, it seems to me that Lewis didn't get to them until late in the fight.
Oh, good right hand by Mike White. The first good right hand.
Keep going, Larry.
And one of them might even have been a decision. I'm not sure. But he had trouble also against these gigantic fighters.
The thing about White, when you get a good punch in, don't play around with Moore because he can surely get you back and get you good. Moore's a magnificent heavyweight. Magnificent.
And here comes Moore banging away as he gets right in trouble again. And the big man goes down.
A left-right combination is what started it.
Yeah, and White goes toward his own corner. He didn't like the right hand. You see the blood. Referee Toby Gibson's going to let it go. 20 seconds to go in the 7th. Tough assignment for Moore to finish now as White pins him off with that long left arm. Oh! Solid left. And let's see if Gibson's had enough. Nope.
I know it.
No time to go to the body for Moore. He's got to go upstairs now. Put it all upstairs. Don't go around.
And White lands a good right at the bell. Well, here is Moore trying to get his 27th knockout in 27 fights. A leaping left followed by a straight right, and finally some punches that just graze White, put him down. I think it was that left and right that did the damage. Both clean, good, hard punches.
A lot of this is fatigue. All of those are hard shots. Mike is pretty tired now.
Taking it to the hoop.
Let's go, second. Let's go, second.
Yeah, a little more than Nate Archibald there for the smaller man, Michael Moore, as he drove on Mike White.
It's strange. Mike doesn't hold on until after he's knocked down. He should hold on even before.
Well, he should hold right now because he's getting pounded. And I think you're going to see an 8th-round TKO. Or at least he got a good shot at it. Earlier in his career, White has been knocked out in the 8th, 9th, and 10th rounds by fighters like Larry Alexander and Mark Wills and Pierre Kutzer. So obviously he has a tendency to tire in the late rounds. Right now he's
going to look at his eye and worry about his damage.
Yep, he's looking at his blood. It's not a pretty sight.
You're supposed to be, hey, in this business you can get scars on the bottom of your feet. You don't look to see if you cut or not. So what?
Hit the corner side.
Well, let's see what kind of a finisher Moore can be in a situation where White is in continuous trouble. The right hand grazed him, and White responded as if he'd been clocked.
That one drew blood.
White is having lots of problems breathing now. Evidently, he's caught a few of those jabs on the tip of the nose, and he's not able to get deep breath. He's going to fight now because he wants to prove to his corner, yes, you didn't waste your time trying to help me.
3 times in his career, White's been knocked out in the 8th round or beyond. And that's the kind of finish that Moore is now looking for to keep his record unlimited. He's had a knockout in every pro fight.
Now, big Mike White is having a lot of trouble now with his vision, of course. Yes, breathing in his vision. That could be a lot of trouble. And Moore smartly goes to the body a bit.
Yeah, but one punch at a time.
The guy's so far away after you land that first punch.
Moore concentrating on jabbing to the body for the last 30 seconds. Trying to get White to come down a little bit so he can set up another right or left to the head.
The previous round, he did let a lot of energy go. So he's having to regroup, try to get a second and third one in now.
There have been 2 knockdowns in the fight. They were in the 1st and 7th rounds. In both instances, Moore put the big man, Mike White, on his back. And Mike White turns around and fights southpaw. Look at this, George.
And I can tell you, he can do a lot better if he just go on and lead with that right.
But by standing in that position, he gives Moore another chance to land the left.
Yeah, he's giving him too much time to set up.
I'll get it. Hold that. You win. Okay. Brett, give me that. Push yourself, okay? What the hell are you guys? This is it. It's ready to go now. That's what you got to do. You just got to sit down and set a sustained attack all the way through. For about 30 seconds and it's over with. And don't the referee stop the fight. The man has been down so much now. He's yapping like a wounded animal. Get him out of here.
Here we see Moore again with a leaping right followed by a left, trying to get something going. But those big arms of White make it awfully difficult to land anything solid when he is defensive.
Neutral corner now for Moore as White takes longer than expected to get off the stool for the start of round 9, but referee Toby Gibson lets him come on.
Moore is really fresh looking. In my mind, he's starting to take control of this fight. He believes now he can pull a knockout in the next couple of rounds.
White lands a left and a right.
But while he waits, White takes over the first 30 seconds of each round.
You heard Emmanuel Stewart advise Moore to give him 30 seconds of sustained punching. See what happens.
Well, he's telling him to sit down and do it. White is too far away for him to actually sit down and do any damage. He's going to have to follow him to get it done.
When he lands to the body, White winces, and now Moore takes a low blow and steps away.
At this point, we're surprised that Moore haven't hit White on the knees.
The statistical upset here is that White has thrown more punches in the bout. against the normally very busy Michael Moore. No question that White's height and range and reach have confused Moore and caused him problems.
The thing about White, he'll hit you with 3 or 4 punches and walk away. He's not interested in finishing anyone off.
There might be one benefit to all this for Moore, which is he's had 26 knockouts in 26 fights. You're not going to knock out everybody. So maybe it's a good thing to get the streak over with
and take the pressure off.
And take the pressure off that so that he can just go back to work, win the fight, let the knockout happen.
Can there be any question that he's conscious in there, George, of the fact that he's 26 KOs and 26 fights coming in?
No doubt about it. You're young. You think people are going to think so small of you if you allow this guy to go to just... You start fighting yourself. You're not fighting the guy for you.
But the frustration was more evident in the middle rounds. Mechanically, Moore has been sounder for the past 2 or 3 rounds, and he's done more damage.
He stands and waits and let Mike White touch him. At this point, you got to forget about strategy with the feet. You just cross your feet and walk right into this guy. White stands still, he's going to get hit.
Oh, another left on the button.
Starting to be real steel.
Real steel means real still, right, George?
Oh! And he's going to be a stick if he don't stop being steel.
White is spitting blood all around the ring after Moore lands a left and a right, but still the big man doesn't go down.
All the credit to Mike White's size. It's just so hard to get a shot up to that head in the middle of that ring. White is starting to use some fakes. Moore covers up. Doesn't affect him much.
Interesting that White still has a little bit left after having taken the number of hard shots he's taken.
You can let it all hang out. Even if you get tired, this guy can't hurt you because you can see his shit coming. When he comes, you just smother and walk inside and break it up. But let it go all out this round now. You're not just going out.
It's all right. That's all right. Stay on it.
You make clean touch of the gloves. You're giving me a clean fight.
Doing good, Mike. Roll the right hand.
All right, Harold Letterman, how do you score it going into the last round?
Larry, I got Michael Moore decisively ahead, 86-82, 5 rounds to 4 in rounds. Michael Moore turned it on when he had to turn it on. He came on, and Mike caught the sweep round 7, 8, 9, and he's well in command of this fight at this point.
You can nail him. Get him with the right hand.
Agreed.
Everything you got, Mike.
Whenever he's close enough, grab him center.
I should report here, Jim and George, that there were reports of an injured right hand from Moore early last week. I checked just before the fight with Emmanuel Stewart, and he said his right hand was all right.
What about his right shoulder? There are also some people who said he had a shoulder problem.
He said that was extremely minor.
I know for a fact that Mark White had some right hand problems. He's having some really right hand problems.
Yeah, and it's Moore's right hand.
And White turns around to fight southpaw again. Now, the last time he did this, he got clocked by a left hand.
Yeah, you got to switch back before he can think about what you're doing. You do it, switch back, do what you're going to do, then go right back into position.
Well, you saw what Moore wants to do with that. He took the right hand to the body. Let's see if he'll step in and throw the right to the body one more time as long as White is standing in this southpaw position. Moore has not given Emmanuel Stewart the 30 seconds of sustained punching that Stewart asked for. I think Emmanuel wants to keep the knockout streak alive. He knows the business value of that.
I think you're exactly right, Jim. He knows that one way to distinguish Moore from the other 3 young fighters who are undefeated is to sustain this knockout record. But in the long run, it's not going to mean anything.
Not at all. White at this point, I don't think he really want to look for a knockout. If it comes, good, but he's not going to risk anything. He switches back and forward. The minutes and seconds are ticking on.
Well, the likely decision in the bout is painted all over Mike White's face. But both Lennox Lewis and Michael Moore have had extended learning experiences in the ring here tonight.
White is using effectively a good jab that he should have been using for the last 3 rounds. He could have been ahead in this fight. Stole it.
Lewis had never been 10 rounds. Before our opening fight, he went 10 against Levi Billups. Moore has never completed a professional fight, all knockouts before now. He's got 1 minute to try to keep that streak alive.
And right now, he's having to reach up so much. It's like climbing stairs with your hand. You're tired. So there's no need in a trainer telling you to go out, do it all. It's not going to happen. Look at your man. He's having to reach up too much.
Last round, gentlemen.
Good double right hand, Michael Moore.
That's the right hand Larry Merchant talked about before the fight. The ability to jab, then hook quickly.
If White can just realize he's not a sparring partner now, he's a fighter. He can win the whole thing. He can be champ of the world. Just go get it.
No, Mike White can't be champion of the world, George. No way, okay? It's beautiful for you to say it, okay? We love your heart, but it's just not true.
Give him high marks as for Levi Billups for staying in there against a superior, younger, quicker fighter.
Saved by the bell.
Now, wait a minute. Harold.
It's over. You can be saved by the bell in the last round. The fight is over.
Absolutely right. Saved by the bell. No knockout.
What a great fight.
You like it, huh?
Dramatic.
So Michael Moore comes to our table and looks down at us and says, what do you think? He scored the third knockdown of the bout just as the final bell sounded. Well, here's how Mike White went down at the end. It was that right hook, George.
And let me tell you, it was devastating.
Take another look.
He had no idea that he would unlash on him at this last second of the fight. He had no White, and did he fall?
Well, if he'd done that 15 seconds earlier, the knockout streak would still be alive. Final punch stat numbers, you see that Moore threw 394 in the bout. That's a very low punch output for Michael Moore. Mike White threw 100 more blows, but look at the connect percentage for Moore. 67%, as White could not stop him from landing. Right now, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can be saved by the bell in the final round. We go to the scorecards here at Caesar's Palace. Jerry Roth scores the bout 98-89. Dalby Shirley scores 87. That's 97-9. And Patricia Jarman scores the bout 99-87 for the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated from Detroit, Michigan, Michael Moore. Michigan, Michael Moore.
So Michael Moore moves the record to 27-0, but the knockout streak is gone, George. Larry Merchant suggests that will help him by taking the pressure off. You agree?
A lot of those knockouts sometimes are in fear that you can't go the distance. Now the fear is over. He's going to be a greater fighter because of it.
All right, let's see what Larry has with Michael Moore.
Not easy, eh?
That was tough.
Chopping a tree. Okay, Michael Moore, you knocked White down in the first round with a good, solid left hand. Did you think it was going to be easy after that? What happened?
I didn't think it was going to be easy because he was tall and he had a weight advantage over me. I just had to stay on the outside and just to utilize what I know how to do. First, I want to thank God for bringing me through this fight. It was a tough fight.
Did you think he'd be easier?
I really didn't think about it. I just knew that he was tall.
Middle rounds, you seemed a little exasperated. It looked like your knockout streak was going to be over. Is that a disappointment to you?
No, it's not. I won. That's a win in my thing. Hello, the 8th precinct back in Detroit.
Is it a good thing that your knockout streak is over now and you can just go about your business and not have to worry about that?
Well, I mean, this is boxing. I'm going to do what I know how to do. That's fight. That's win. And you know, I'm going to try to look good.
Who do you want to fight next?
Whoever they put in front of me. Chief Knox. Whoever they put in front of me.
They'll find somebody to put in front of you, and it'll be unusual if he stands up to you the way Mike White did tonight. Thank you very much. Michael Moore, now back to ringside.
Peter go Phil.
All right, thanks very much, Larry and Michael Moore. And George, Michael Moore says the knockout streak didn't mean that much to him. He has no particular doubts about his ability in light of the fact that he had to go 10 rounds. Sounds like just the right attitude.
I think so. Some fighters are afraid if they go to, they get knockouts because they're scared to go to distance. He's going to distance. He's going to be a much better fighter. I think that this guy is capable of winning the title right now.
Capable of winning the title right now.
That's
so if
right.
you were Emmanuel Stewart and Michael Moore had a chance to fight an Evander Holyfield or a Mike Tyson or a Riddick Bowe for the heavyweight championship within the next year, you go ahead and put him in there.
I would tell him to forget the other names. Forget the contenders. This guy can be heavyweight champ of the world.
What about Lewis?
Lewis, of course, he's a little further along, further down.
Behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a good boxing skills, but you can tell when he gets in trouble, he doesn't know exactly where he is all the time. But he's a fine prospect.
What if the champion, say it's Holyfield, decided that Lewis is still short of developing fully, and now's the time to give him a title shot rather than to give him the chance to reach his full potential? If you're Lewis's management, would you go ahead and put him in?
I think he's not going to get any better. You give him 6 months to work on certain things, he can be a qualified contender for the heavyweight title. But I'd like to see him fight maybe 3 or 4 fights.
Did you have fun?
I had lots of fun. I had everything but something to eat.
You hungry? All right, Larry Merchant, you said before the evening that you thought we were going to see the cream of the 4 young heavyweights, Bowe, Mercer, Moore, and Lewis. You like these 2 guys better than the 2 Americans, Bowe and Mercer. After both of them now have been pressed to the limit and had to go the distance to get decisions, what do you think?
Well, my thought, one way to define that is who is willing to fight who else. And one of the things I discovered from talking to various people, the other 3 guys don't want to fight Lennox Lewis. So that suggests to me that they think he's the most advanced. Remember, he did knock out or stop Bowe in the Olympics. I think all of these fighters who have everything good in front of them, who yet have beaten everything in front of them as well, still need a defining fight, a testing fight to capture the public. Remember that when Evander Holyfield was coming up, first they put him in with Dwight Braxton. People said, wow, can he fight Dwight Braxton? He beat Dwight Braxton. Then later they put him in with Michael Dokes. He didn't need Michael Dokes. But then everybody said, okay, now he's a real heavyweight, and he moved up from there. These fighters, I believe, need some defining opponent to fix their stature with the public.
Care to make a prediction about next Friday night's battle between a third of the young lions, Ray Mercer and Larry Holmes?
Well, I think Larry will do as well as his legs and his wind can take him. I think for as long as he's in there, he'll do some stuff because Mercer has the fewest skills of the 4 people, but he's very tough. He's done everything asked of him. He keeps coming back. You have to like the younger, stronger guy.
All right. Thanks very much, Larry. So we came here tonight to see 2 young heavyweight contenders, Lennox Lewis and Michael Moore. Both of them won. Both of them kept their records unbeaten. Both of them had to go the distance for the first time, and both of them learned something. When I say for the first time, I mean in Lewis's case that he went 10 rounds for the first time. He had gone the distance in 2 previous fights. So Lennox Lewis, to recap, won a unanimous decision over Levi Billups in his first 10-round assignment, and Lewis stretched his record to 19 wins and no losses. He will remain a highly rated contender. Michael Moore of Detroit stretched his record to 27 wins, no losses. For the first time, he doesn't have a knockout. He learned something against 6'10" Mike White. He will remain one of the top contenders in the division. You also heard tonight our update on the first 6 days of the Mike Tyson rape trial, with the expectation that the prosecution may complete its case by as early as Monday, and that the trial may well go to the jury by the end of this coming week. You also heard an update on negotiations for a potential title fight between Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe. That now is put on hold by a judge in New Jersey who says, let's wait and see what happens in the Tyson rape trial. And for you Holyfield folks, obviously, if Tyson is acquitted, you're going to fight him. If he isn't, then you can find somebody else as a challenger. And we told you a little bit about Larry Holmes and spoke to the former champion as he prepared in Jacksonville, Florida for his date next Friday night on TVKO, our pay-per-view sister operation, against merciless Ray Mercer, the 1988 Olympic heavyweight gold medalist. That's next Friday night, February 7th. TVKO live pay-per-view coverage of Mercer Holmes, the undefeated top contender Mercer, the 42-year-old former champ Larry Holmes. Call your cable operator for details. And be sure to join HBO Sports for our next boxing telecast. the World Championship Challenge, when the world's top 2 amateur boxers from each of the 12 Olympic weight divisions battle for the title of world champion, live March 14, right here on HBO. You'll see a lot of future stars. Coming up immediately following tonight's coverage of World Championship Boxing, stay tuned for One Night Stand, Bobby Slayton on the East Coast, and Awakenings on the West Coast. And now for Larry Merchant and George Foreman and Harold Letterman, I'm Jim Lampley, saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada. The executive producer of HBO Sports is Ross Greenberg. Tonight's coverage of World Championship Boxing was produced by Rick Bernstein and directed by Mark Payton. The replay producers were Brian McDonald and Kirby Bradley. Feature producers Kendall Reed and Steve Salvatore. Assistants to the producer Dave Leapson, Greg Backer, and Artie Curry. Production manager Russell Gabay. And the technical supervisor was Dan Barron. This has been a presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.
Con tiempo y con la velocidad.